Karan Johar's team reached our garage. It was like a shutter down garage. So our shutter was half open, and then the stylist walked down Ekalakhani's street for Love Stories and for Kiara Advani. 13 homes we knocked doors at, and everybody said no to us. Friends would ask, "Are you selling sarees? And who wears sarees? You don't see any saree brand. And selling online? Have you really lost it?" We found a clear gap of women who like sarees but always wear saying, "Oh, I don't wear sarees," or "Sarees are only for temples or for weddings." So the moment we started earning 20,000 each, we said now we quit our high-paying jobs. We used to deliver ourselves. We used to actually see the order, we go to all the Mumbai addresses, go deliver the product to see who the customer is, who likes our product for what. Vinita and Sonakshi Sinha was wearing Suta in Mission Mangal. So she cut the tag from that saree and put it behind her phone. So her phone is non-traceable, those two phones. So she showed me, "This is the address written here," and I'm like, Ani Kapoor Productions, Mani Ratnam Productions, they all kept coming, and there was absolutely not intention. We didn't know that we are reaching where. Being authentic is very difficult, but I think you should stick to it because that's trying, because otherwise every brand will look the same. If you're pushing something down the throat, you're pushing discounts, you're pushing numbers, they see it. And the moment you start doing it, you lose the community and they know it's just a cohort.
Welcome to Brewed. This is the podcast for brand builders, e-commerce CMOs, and marketeers who want to know what really goes into building modern brands. Every episode brings you real strategies, honest stories, and people doing the work. Today's guests are Taniya and Sujata Biswas, co-founder of the brand Suta. It has redefined how a modern saree brands can look like. Founded in 2016, Suta has grown into a global community of more than 1 million Instagram followers, more than 1 million app users, and they have a retail presence across 15 cities. In this episode, we unpack what it really takes to grow a purpose-led brand into today's retail landscape and how to expand without losing your soul. So welcome Taniya and Sujata to Brewed. Take us, where all did it start?
Honestly, it started from our childhood. I think every founder has something from the childhood that brings them to become an entrepreneur. So when we were kids, our father was in deliveries. So he used to always take us to villages for our holidays, and not to fancy holidays or some fancy vacation. And he used to say, "This is the best vacation that you will get. When you come back, you'll have the most stories to tell." So our ma and baba used to take us to wherever the train went, and we used to get down, and he would know someone from his office or someone else, and we used to stay with them. We used to meet a lot of farmers and weavers and artisans, because that's what is based mostly. And we learned a lot of farming, and we saw weaving happening in front of us. We lived with weavers, and ma at the end used to say, "You can buy 2 meters of fabric each," and we used to come back. We used to also swim in ponds, climb trees, climb hillocks, and think that, wow, this is the most beautiful trip ever. And after coming back, Ma used to say, "You can design, you can tell me what kind of a sleeve you want, what kind of pockets you want," and we used to get so excited, and we knew the story of how the fabric was woven. So that stayed with us, and we grew up, that stayed with us. But we studied engineering MBA, so did different things than what we at heart really wanted to do. But once we were at the corporate, we realized that when we were wearing sarees, people used to be very intrigued about the kind of fabric we used to wear, and the softness of our sarees. And we found a clear gap of women who like sarees but always wear saying, "Oh, I don't wear sarees," or "Sarees are only for temples or for weddings." So we said, maybe that's what we need to do. Like Suta came together, Suta means thread. So we said, "Oh, God wants us to do something where our heart lies," and we quit our jobs and started Suta.
No, but this is not as simple, actually. I remember still probably take us we do understand the source of inspiration, but what was so when we speak to founders, so generally people validate their ideas, and when I was speaking with a founder of Swaha USA, so Nikki told me that she understood fashion, and it's a STEM clothing brand. So for her, she validated it by putting stalls. She went on a Kickstarter to validate the idea, and she ended up raising six figure for pre-orders, just to validate the idea. For you, what was that like a trigger point? How did you validate your idea?
2016 is when the brand officially started, but along with our jobs, we did Suta for 2 years before the brand officially launched. The 2014 to 2016 is a journey that was the heart, the the grit, the whole little tears and blood of everything went into that because we used to do everything ourselves and we had no clue how to do a business. I think all entrepreneurs have this space where they did everything themselves, right? Because you cannot say that, oh, I have this great idea, this business is going to be successful, I'll hire people, I'll rent an office. No, it's not as rosy as it sounds like. When we did a lot of pop-ups, we used to do a lot of customer meets. We used to deliver ourselves. We used to actually see the orders, actually go to all the mobile addresses, go deliver the product to see who the customer is, who likes our product for what. And we spend time with customers in their houses saying, why did you pick a Suta? And we used to have a Facebook page. So it was just like because somebody stumbled upon or some friends of friends got to know they bought. So we said, what do you like about the product? Why did you come second time to buy it? And that to a Facebook page, we didn't even have our faces because I was a photographer. She used to model for it, and we used to have headless pictures, so neck down. So it's not that they knew us. Who was buying it and how did they trust and send money to the account is what we always wondered. But 2 years was, I think 3 years is what we did with just a Facebook page. Then we had a website. And it was very, very tough, honestly, because we used to not know anything about textile. We got cheated. We were said very bluntly no to us because we looked like, oh, two girls are doing some college project. They can just like, um, it doesn't look serious because it's just two young girls because they'll get married once and they'll just drop out. What will happen to my constant job? So we were said no. 13 homes we knocked doors at, and everybody said no to us. And from then to now, because we wanted Malmal sarees and nobody was wearing this, honestly. And we saw customers also loving it. So when we launched it, used to launch the collection, and immediately, like 2-3 days, it used to be sold out. So we knew there was a demand and we had to fix the supply. So first 2 years, 3 years, we were just fixing the supply chain because communicating with the weavers when you're not traveling all the time, how do you get the products when you've given the design that exactly coming in? So we spent a lot of time to build that system supply. And then once that supply was fixed and getting fixed, we started earning from Suta. So the moment we started earning 20,000 each, we said, now we'll quit the high paying jobs. And our parents said, and that was very tough. Like 20,000 monthly each of us from the high paid corporate job after, these school salaries are huge. But we knew that we have to pay off the loan so that nothing is sitting on our head. We did that and saved a lot. We went to parties with our after eating at home so that we don't order. We used to carry dabbas ourselves, like so that we just pause before the party because we don't order anything. So we didn't take money from our parents because we are from a very humble background and we didn't want to burden them because it's already that we're quitting and they think that the costs have gone back. And nobody from our entire family of like couple of generations have done business ever. So it was like a very weird thing that we were doing. They were like, oh, you're taking sabbatical after 1 year, you can go back. And literally, friends would ask, are you selling sarees? And who wears sarees? You don't see any saree brand. And selling online, how will people, you've seen now all the brick and mortar store, people come to buy sarees. And they're like, have you really like lost it that you're just, opening a saree brand online? So it was, it's in but we knew we had to do this.
Yeah. So like two questions come to my mind. Like saree is very experiential. Like that's how the a previous generation has been trained on. Like they'll go to store and like when you met so many customers, how did you define who is an ideal Suta customer? Like what was the persona in your mind? Like 2016. Because you did it for like 2016
I
to
think we
14.
were the first online saree brand. So there was no persona defined already. So we jumped literally in the ocean knowing nothing. And exhibitions taught us. I think exhibitions when we saw people picking our products and going, and we literally had sold out stalls. There was a 3-day exhibition where the second day our stock was over. And we had to literally put a curtain down saying we don't have anything. And that was like a validation chatting with people because we didn't have products. So we just chatted with our customers, and we realized our customers they will buy a 1,200 or 1,500. That those times our sarees started at like 1,150. And then GST came, it became 1250, 1313. It became 1313 was the price. So anyway, when we started that, we realized our customer base is a CEO who's coming and buying our 1200, 1300 rupees plain sari, which they will wear with like absolute grace. And so it will define the persona, it will make them feel confident and beautiful, but they will still be in their own skin. Yeah. And it will not change it. Like, for example, this sari also, the sari is like a 2300 rupees sari, but I'm saying a boardroom meeting would have a lot of sutas. Or, when we went for a sari walkathon, we realized that there were people on the whole walkathon, we spotted very little saris, suta saris. But on the stage, I spotted 8 suta saris. So, our customer base was very independent, free thinkers. We can't even make it age group wise breakup, because our customer base came from varied age group, varied places, some city dwellers, somebody who living in, tier 2, tier 3 cities, but they're very different. The way they think is very different. So that was the class.
So,
And
like,
honestly, it's
generally,
exactly like how you would think that how did people start buying from stores to now app? Like, why did you open
oh,
an app? Like an application
yeah.
company. It's exactly like that. Like, how did people go from buying a bit more brick and mortar store sari to an online sari? It's similar story.
So generally, like the people who are very secure about themselves, like kind of, and like they were like decision makers. I'm just talking about early adopters, and they were very confident in terms of like trying something like which makes them. I will term it like self-actualized individuals who were exploring a quality product, and
Yeah.
they say they found they found Suta on like Meta
They
or
will
like
also
Facebook.
they will also believe in the impact that they are creating. So because we work with
Oh,
weavers, they also believe in that, and they proudly. So somebody like wearing a, so let's say I'm wearing a Versace or I'm wearing a Sabyasachi, but now,
yeah,
but I know Suta customers would proudly say, even if it's for like a 2000 or a 3000 rupees sari, they would proudly say I'm wearing a Suta, because they believe that it's not about the price point, but it's about the cause also, because I am impacting lives. So that
yeah.
I think people saw a win when they saw the brand winning, and that's
Okay.
very rarely seen. That happened because I think we were very transparent and talking about why we are doing what we're doing.
What is the story of so when you started like so you so you really put your face on the meta ads and the community like then and I remember in like previously when talking with Tanya, she told me like you don't you don't have celebrities endorsing it, but subliminally they use it, like people use Suta. uh, is it by chance or is it by strategy?
By
Like
chance.
see like modeling for your product like it's like dog feeding. Like now in software people are using, you when you build a product, user product, like dog feeding. And I believe basically in like DTC and the brands, like that's the founder story. Like they build their product, they model themselves. But how has it it evolved by chance? But how have you seen when we see like other ethnic brands and other guys, like somebody saw a gap, started it out. What do you think, like how would have brand evolved if you have taken like a celebrity route? What has been like overall like a story impact?
So we started doing that because we wanted to save money. We didn't have those budgets to do the shoots, which earlier when we inquired, those are for 1,000 rupees a product. That was the pricing quoted those days, so 2016. And we wanted a very raw background, not a studio setup with lights. So it was dependent on sunlight, wind, everything, right? And so honestly, the studio shoot was much cheaper than the outdoor shoot. Yeah, because outdoor is not controlled. Exactly, not controlled. So we couldn't afford that. So for us, it was a no, strict, like there was nothing else, no other option but to stand in front of the camera and do what we wanted to do. And Sujata was never like a model person, and she used to stand in front of the camera and do her head like that. And I used to edit the pictures. I used to select and edit. And while editing one fine day, I said, Sujata, your face is looking fine. And she was just passing by, didn't hear me properly. She said, do whatever you want to. I said, just do it. Put my photo if you want to. Put whatever. Yeah. She just did that, and I started putting her head in the pictures, and we got a lot of love for that. And then next shoot, I said, okay, at least apply some cream, kajal, and let's take at least, do something. Yeah. Comb your hair, do something to your hair. And that's how it started.
Yeah. And I tell you how I realized that it was getting the attention, because I look like a girl next door, right? I dress up like a girl next door without ironing sometimes, without even putting too much effort into the way I look. So what happened is a lot of girls would say that, oh, I can look like this. It's achievable. Earlier, sarees were so catalog, like so prim and proper that, people would get scared and run away. So that we got that establishment, that got established, that people are liking this candid kind of a shoot where you're doing home chores, or you're just standing reading maybe, or just working on your laptop. So those got established.
People could relate to this movement.
Yeah.
The scenario, the movement, the placement, everything people could relate to. And sarees became, and since we always had this idea that saree has to come back like a regular wear. And
So we did
it
regular.
could not be like I'm standing on a palace or a waterfall, etc., right? So it had to be regular.
Without heels. So also shoes, canvas, like, Crocs. We would wear like those kinds of things so that it looks like achievable. You can just run in the market wearing whatever you're wearing, sneakers,
like early
Yeah.
days, like how it used to be.
Yeah, so we did that thinking of our mums and aunts, because they did that. So that was the inspiration. But then later what we realized is, Love Stories came, and, Karan Johar's team reached our garage. It was like a shutter down garage. So our shutter was half open, and then the stylist walked from Ekalakhani's team for Love Stories and for Kiara Advani. So she entered and she said, oh, Karan said like this look. And then she's like, oh, this girl is
Like
nude.
on half shutter, the garage is open, and then I'm peeping inside and say outside, who Karan Sujata? Did you take an appointment? Sujata, do you know any Karan? We did take any appointments to meet. Like Karan Johar. I'm like, so we realized that Pinterest is such a powerful medium, and because this kind of look is liked, so we got those validation early on. So then, Anil Kapoor Productions, Mani Ratnam Productions, they all kept coming, and there was absolutely not intention. We didn't know that we are reaching where. I think honestly, it was again the story, again being present across platforms, being visible, and also talking about the product, how light it is, how comfortable it is, and the kind of looks we created sitting at home constantly.
The quality of products were visible through the shoots that we did. So
I think that was amazing that how it happened naturally. Also the kind of policies, because we're very open, honest people. Brands stood for honesty, and people could easily come to us and say they wanted full looks, and then we helped them out create looks, and we used to show them what our products they should take it, and I think.
But to answer your question, I feel if we had selected a brand endorser early on, it might not have had the same effect that we have now. I think customers who buy from Suta understand that if I'm hiring a celebrity, I'm going to pay, and the payment comes from the customers. So our customers are not, I would not use the word gullible, but they're not like somebody who would just see, oh wow, this actress is one, so I have to wear it.
It works. Honestly, it works.
Yeah, I mean, not like saying that for brands it doesn't work. So I'm saying because our face worked already, we didn't have to go that route at all. So,
and we also thought that person next door telling me that, oh, I used a product and I loved it, I would definitely buy it rather than seeing one actor wearing it and I'm thinking that I am not sure.
but honestly, many actors from Indian cinema have worn Suta, so we are like really grateful.
Name them and they have worn it.
Most of them, like literally most of them have worn Suta, and and I know that a lot of celebrities tell the stylist that, hey, if it's a sari look, can you go and buy from Suta, because they all fit me. So the blouses, my size is this. From Suta, just go buy, pick it up because it works for me. So it is also coming from all sides. It's not just the look that the stylist is choosing, but also sometimes actors telling that, hey, I like it. After I remember once in the lift, then after that garage store, we went to a Hana building where in the lift, our office was on the 5th floor, a warehouse. So I was in the lift, and then in this the building was very messy, like a very falling apart, shabby building. And then in the lift, I meet Mrs. Sinha, Sonam Kapoor's mom. No, sorry, Sonakshi Sinha's mom. So we meet her, and Sonakshi Sinha was wearing Suta in Mission Mangal. So she cut the tag from that sari and put it behind her phone. So her phone is not traceable, those two phones. So she showed me, this is the address written here, and I'm like, she is coming to the lift, and I'm like, my office is a mess. And I'm thinking, my God. And she literally walks in that whole mess the whole warehouse, and the whole team was like jumping at them, saying, "Now, please come in, come in." And I'm like, wow, this is memorable. And also, like, a lot of actors, they said that, can we come and see our space? And we literally understood that being present in our proper space and also having a store really makes sense.
People want to be like touch, feel, at least like so. Digital like helps us like digital help us tell our authentic story, connect with the community. But people are so moved by the story, they want to experience it. And there comes the store. Wow. Now, will it's about like the brand has like authentic story. It has an impact. The last and then of course we need both the ingredients to build a strong community. And every brand is a community. It's like a founder having a story, solving a pain point, and people believing in it. That's how I define a brand, and it becomes a cult over a period of time. The more believers people accept. I do understand like a lot of pain have gone in like building that community, but what has been your fundamental philosophy of like connecting people to the cause? What has been like a framework, and how should like the how should somebody now starting a fashion brand like what can they learn from it?
Been 10 years, so we're going to complete 10 years in April. So if you ask that, and like, I think I've always stuck to being our authentic self, and we have a couple of values that we do not, mess with. So, for example, if we've started the brand for artisans and the impact is the main reason, we tell every department to understand that and keep artisans on top. So, for example, if a collection flops, the design team will have to gather and quickly create another launch for those artisans who have failed in, the design has failed, the launch has failed, so that their work is not getting hampered. So I'm saying it, starting from packaging to everything, it starts from the weavers, and we always think from the weaver's point of view. Even if an actress wears a sari, we send the photo back to the weaver saying, hey, you made this and they have worn it. So now see that what impact you've created, what your work has gone everywhere. So a couple of values is that. Second is having structures, like proper numbers that you're watching every day. For example, looking at cash flows, making sure you're looking at the sell-through rates properly, or the whole numbers around the number game, which you can now never miss. Having right P&Ls, going through it like monthly and not slipping anything, and those kind of things that we, as a brand, the moment the brand keeps growing, if you're not watching it from day one, you will never have that numbers. At the end of that, you can't suddenly wake up and say, oh, I need everything, and everything will not come in a platter. So, yeah, anything else? Yeah, and I think also staying authentic is quite important for any brand, because when you're small, you think something is working, you are working in some direction, but when you see a lot of clutter and you think, I want to be this, I want to be that, then you lose your identity. So being authentic is very difficult. But I think you should stick to it, because that is only that's what shines, because otherwise every brand will look the same. So that's another thing that really works for us. And have a community. I think community also is something. I mean, you mentioned it, but I think community is something that we built without the whole buzzword of community. When we started community, we called it Suta Queens, and even now we call it the Queens. And we said it because we felt that if a girl feels like a queen, even if it's a bathroom selfie, we post it because she is feeling pretty then, and hence she's clicked it. Doesn't matter what the background is, it need not be the most edited photo. And that is now becoming the trend, right? Unedited photos, no filters, and all of that. But we started in 2016, 2017, 18, when we went on Instagram. We started this whole Suta Queen community, and even now, whenever our customers meet randomly on the road, also meets another queen, they say, "Hey, I'm also Suta Queen. I'm part of the community." They don't say I'm a customer of Suta. They say I'm a community member. So that's the kind of, if you have to build community, that's the only way you can build it, is by staying true to it. And they are always thinking what value you're adding, but not thinking that you're selling, pushing, you're not making money out of it. Yeah. And the moment you have that vision that you're going to mint money out of the community you're building, everything changes and people get it. If you're pushing something down the throat, you're pushing discounts, you're pushing numbers, they see it. And the moment you start doing it, you lose the community, and they know it's just a cohort. So then also, they will also leave. They will also not stay. They will also not want to champion you or, or become the
They might buy
ambassador.
your product is great, but they will not voice it. They will not spread the word for you, or they will not be happy when you're winning. It's just another brand. So
It's 10 years, right? And you have seen a lot of ups, downs, and a lot of trends have come in. Like, when you started, Facebook community was the hottest thing. And now it's Reels is the is at a forefront. Any one lesson, if you can, or a failure, I will say, which if you can share, where you tried something in the community and you learned like, okay, this is not my customers or our uh, queens want it. Uh, Anything if you're comfortable sharing. It's kind of a lesson for anybody else. Like because when we are building a community, we are coming with or somebody is building a brand, they come up with like ideas every week. Sometimes they generally care, like most of the time the intent is good, but there is always there is at the end of the day, everything has to be a cash flow and the top
correct.
line and the bottom line. So people do mistakes. So any one lesson if you can share.
I think the one thing that it's not a major failure as such, but I think our customer base is not meant for that. Is when we started the brand, we were against discounts. We knew that the kind of pricing we do, the kind of value we pass on to the viewers and everyone. Uh, I'm not saying that we're not here to make profits because the business will not run. We're here to make that. But the kind of great quality products we produce, the kind of design we have, it's very innovative. It's amazing. So people see value in it. So we knew that we will not discount. But later, through the journey that we became bigger, when you have inventory misses that you are building on a lot of inventory, the lead time is high. You sit on inventory and you know that, oh, I understand now why other brands do discounting. And we started doing that. There was a time when we did discounting too much because everyone else was doing it. We didn't need to do that, but we were also doing it because some discount there, why will someone come and buy from me? And to get into that race, I knew somewhere down the line when I look back, my customer base was not buying because I was discounting. They were anyways bought. My product quality is great. It was not that my product is aging badly that I have to discount and finish it off. But that was one mistake I think that we did that time to get into that race of things. And also till now, I know that any of these products, even if it's not discounted, it will still sell the same way because our customers repeat rates are high, very, very high, and it tells about the product quality and the brand loyalty that people have. So I think that was one big mistake that I should have avoided back then. I think one more would be trying to change the face of the brand. I think we did it. We tried it a couple of times, and many times we failed, but we keep I've not changed. Like we have different faces coming and talking to customers. Like we now have somebody belonging to the Gen Z community, so different people in the company who talk to customers. But also the fact that when we shift when we just think that customers and maybe they want because other brands are doing it like this, let's just shoot it exactly like this, buy another model. But we realize our customers don't really care about uh, the face of the model or something, but they care with the effort that's put in the shoot, the way we are carrying the sari and the stories behind it, and the craft that we have used to make the product. So that also was a learning. We spent a lot of money, burnt our fingers, and came back to the original, which is like
We did very we got a stylist to style the sari. It's very neatly pleated and everything, which is against the initial idea of the brand. And also we fell flat on our faces. So that was another learning. And people came back to us and told us that customers constantly want us to engage. Like I feel it's always tell and not sell that we've always followed. But also when the moment we are not coming and talking to customers, like not just us, anybody from the team, then the customers really feel alienated. And
they get detached suddenly.
Yeah, we know the behavior that whole interaction on the social media pages and all reduces. So yeah, that we have it's a hard way we have learned our lessons.
Wow, I have like so many questions which is related to like a branding and how you measure it. Like as a founder, when we run our setup, we work with like 200 brands. I sometimes I have that spidey sixth sense, like this brand, there is something wrong. They are not demanding anything, or like probably I see the numbers somebody is not talking to them, and I'm not happy with the ROI we are making. So I get that same. So I'll get into like the questions like when you see the story or a brand story is working, and before I get in there, there's one question which was it's a very like a sari is a traditional category, and wherein we went to like a initially to self-actualized individuals, and we kind of set up a trend, especially which is like you can be yourself in sari, you don't need to be like something else. But we kind of we endorse LGBTQ inclusion in our like a brand story. So what was the reaction of our customers on that? What was the thought behind it? How did it go? Like,
So we have always spoken our heart out about the things that we actually believe in. So, for example, it starts from again from our childhood that we were in. My father was in our father was in a transferable job, so we always changed schools, 7 schools, 5 schools. She changed. So it was very hard for us to gel in or come in and merge with the gang.
And
So
it's
there was
not in the same state. It's
yeah,
different states
so
constitute,
language barrier, different neighbors, no common friends. So that was very hard for us. So for us, just were outsiders all the time. So for us, that the whole fact of acceptance was something that was like a big pain point. We learned a lot. We become very adaptable in life, but we know that as an outsider, how you feel. So that the fact of a Suta community was created because of that. So we found that if you feel pretty in your head, we will tell you thumbs up. You are looking pretty. Same as the LGBTQIA community. Same with there's one more campaign we ran for kids with autism. Yeah, kids with autism spectrum. So our whole campaign around even the anxiety issues that we have. So the saris were named as anger, and different names, and we spoke about it. So we felt saris to be a medium of telling stories because all our saris are named something. So we have saris called passion, saris with names. And LGBTQI was one of them, saying that a lot of people just don't talk about it because there's talk happening around them, so they don't know what to say. And sometimes, like things like if people know that there is something. So, for example, we are going to launch menopause sari. So, because people are not talking enough about it. Why are I not talking about it? LGBTQIA is part of us. We live in it and they are part of us. And just because I don't know about it, I'll just not look at it. I will live in denial that, oh, let me just not get into some topic that is awkward. So we create content stories around it so that it's just saris or blouses become a talking point and the discussion happens. So that's something that we all believe in.
And if a garment is accompanying you throughout the day in your life, and it's not just a piece of something that you're just wearing it, you express through your garments. You tell people, or you want to show your personality to people, and you dress up a certain way. And every garment should have a story, so you can use it longer. It can be a conversation starter. So that's what we also thought. And since Suta has a big community, and since we have a voice, and I think that if even two people change the mindset, or they join our voices and make it bigger, we can do so much more than just selling saris, blouses, whatever garments we make. So we did all the lesbian flag colors. All the flag colors also we incorporated in the sari. So somebody who is part of the community or is an ally can wear it and talk about it. So we're giving a talking point or a mode to you can talk, for you to talk. And similarly, we just introduced the breast cancer tag, the pink tag in our blouses. So whoever is wearing that blouse will see the 4 ways to check your breast. So, it's just awareness, and clothing being such an integral part of your life. You can actually use it as a medium to talk more about it. So we have done loads of campaign, and I'm very excited about the menopause campaign that's coming. And honestly, these campaigns are called campaigns, but it's nothing to do with marketing or it's just that we have this power now to talk about things and people can listen. So yeah, we've been doing it since like donkey's years. I think even 5 people listen to us, we are happy. We can make the world more inclusive and safe. So be it.
okay, so the question now comes to the marketing part. First, how do you know? Like, see, a brand is a single month story, and then every month or like every time, depending on based on ideation, what is like what our community wants to hear, or like what is the chatter, we will build stories around it. And you said a very interesting stuff that we feel that our community needs to engage or talk to us. How do you, and sometimes the implications are some stories work, some stories do not. How do you measure that some story is working or a campaign is working? How do you measure it? Second, of course, I could understand you feel that community needs engagement, but how you see those metrics, if you can share, like at the end of the day, emotion meets numbers. Uh, so how do you marry like stories with numbers and P&L?
Very
So if you
simple,
can share the
actually.
framework.
We see the STR of the launch for each product. A lot of times, because of just the story, a product has been sold out. We know it. The sarees from the autism spectrum. Artist Samrit Khurana is a kid. She takes pictures when she steps out because she doesn't interact with people, but she watches things in a different way. She takes pictures on her phone, comes back home and sketches those images that she has taken of those moments that she has captured, and she makes it in a very geometric pattern. Puts very colorful, makes it very colorful, and we sent it to our weavers and artisans, and they hand painted it on the sari. That collection was so much in demand, it got sold out. It was nothing to do with how the saris were. I think the saris were stunning, pretty. But I'm saying it was a lot of collections which is pretty. Yeah. But that sold out. Even I tell you the Republic Day campaign. So we did a contest in the village. The village kids came and we said, what does happiness mean to you? And they do random things like whatever. So one of the candies and stuff, but plain. They do something so powerful. Like somebody drew, she's sleeping on her mother's lap. That's happiness. So I'm saying that kind of things came out of that, and then we just picked the elements and we designed sarees with it. The sarees looked like a regular saree. It could have been any design because we designed so many sarees and we launched 3 to 4 collections. That collection was sold out. And when people engage with us and tell us that they connected to the story and they have to buy that piece of clothing because they related to it so much. And also we see views, engagements on social media, that's regular, the chats, the number of shares, and the noise that gets created through that in that span of time. And then the STR. And the STR, it marries together. We know it's a hit or not. And a lot of products go on reorder, so we know it. So then the whole POs will come to us for approval, right? In the end of it, so we know the POs are getting raised fast for a collection. So we know how brilliant it has contributed to the P&L. So, and once a campaign does well or once a product does well, it just the whole cost of advertisement and everything comes down. So we measure it like very, very key, like literally like a hawk. We watch the numbers when it comes to campaign launches and especially the collection launches.
So basically, it's sell-through rate. We'll see it in ROAS. We'll see it in like reorder, stock outs, all those places, and those things will just
literally call and talk because our customer support is the whole team would be literally 6-7 years old in the company. So the whole team is like very, very the veterans. So and also when we have weekly meetings, they come and give feedback on what people had to talk about it. And there was this one time when we did LGBTQIA campaign Pride collection, and it was the initial days of us running a campaign. A lot of people unfollowed us. Yeah, and it was a downward graph. But we didn't remove anything. We didn't. So a lot of people sent hate messages, but there was a spike the next week. Yeah, the spike was immense because we didn't say that it didn't work for us, we delete it, or because something that we really believe in, we stick to it, right? And people will come back, they'll understand our voices, right? And that's what happens when we do something. It can go anyway, but it's not trying to sell. Yeah, it is never about selling. So we just stick to the idea or the belief. I think things turn around, people would see the authenticity around it and then they come back.
Now we'll get into like app as a whole. So we'll have like 2-3 questions regarding how app manages a community. And I remember like spoke with Taniya like 3 weeks back, and she was like, we need something where there can be a two-way interaction with them. So having said that, start with like, what convinced you guys to have app as a channel? Like,
people engage with us a lot. So, like how we said that we believe in stories since childhood. We've always thought that our garments should have a story and it should have its own voice. And what happens is mobile web becomes like very transactional. If you have to go back to it, if you're thinking about it, you have to again enter. It becomes a very transactional space. App becomes very rational that way. And it becomes like a home, like a personal space where people can spend a lot of time when they want to. And whenever they're bored, whenever they want to like take a break, a lot of people go to Instagram. Our people are Suta queens go to Suta app. And it's so funny, I'll tell you. We have an exhibition met kids and husbands and like the parents coming and saying, "मेरे बेटे के laptop में ये always I see you." So I'm like, so they keep it open. So the people saying work from home, the kid is like, "Auntie, I keep seeing you on my mother's laptop. Auntie keep seeing you on her phone." So because that's like a stress buster for people to come and see what's new and just scroll. Just to see the styling, just to see a new launch, engage with us. A lot of people do a lot of wish listing. This is one more, I'll tell you one more example. I think people, just a little away from app, but I'm saying how people are so, like so in love with Suta is that some people say that, oh, because I'm a, I go through domestic violence in my house. The first thing I do is get up in the morning, open Suta's Instagram, I open Suta's app and see you guys because you guys give me hope that the world is also beautiful. But I can't step out of my household. I can't leave my family and go. I suffer, but just seeing you that you guys are not gives me hope. So imagine how powerful a page could be. Like there could be a space which is a safe space, and it's also interacting and talking to you. So hence we feel that our page should always either communicate a message, and it should never be pushing offer down your throat. And hence, like discounting bit came from Tanya also.
Got it. So I'll tell you interesting story. Like now that brand is like a 100 CR plus brand. They were starting like 2 years back, and I just like I had a call with the founder, and they said, you know what, we are a jewelry brand, and who will keep our app? Probably people buy once and twice in a year. Uh, and then I was like, but Suta has it. And they were like, why would Suta have an app? And I'm like, oh, they do like a 40% of the sale. And most of the time, whenever they're like a special campaigns or anything, an app is a very dedicated channel. And they were just starting up, like probably like 40 orders per day. And they're like, okay, I'll give it a try. Just give me some rational pricing. We're just starting up, we'll raise money. And with that, just one example, the person they had an
Yay! I hope it works for them. I'm sure it does because an app is honestly, if you're building a brand and not just selling. Yeah. So retention is top of the mind, right? Retention has to happen for your brand to grow, and nothing. What better than having an app?
Our podcast is Brewed, okay? And what we are doing is we are sending Armenian coffee. So just yeah. So basically, like he's like our advisor, like an investor. But every Monday he brews coffee, and then he's like a brand called Sevak. So all the people are coming on our podcast. We are just sending them this like making shopping human again kind of a hamper where we are sending freshly brewed coffees.
By the way, coffee and tea is something that you need to serve in the store for customers to linger for long, and then they shop more.
You are just the seventh brand with us, fashion brand, who has said, you know what, we want to serve coffee in the.
We do serve coffee. I think you have to make it so you have to.
It's a cafe. It's not a store. It's not a store. It's a cafe. It's a Suta cafe actually. So people come, enjoy, and they buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time in our stores. So yeah, same for app also. So I'm saying our bounce rates are low. People spend a lot of time. So we had two professors from SP10 who wrote a case on us, and just to always ask and say, why are people spending so much time on a website? Like I say, GMA ko glitch hai. You have to check it because why are people staying in a website for so long? So they should shop and leave, but they're always there. What are they doing? So we realized that people spend time just browse through, keep adding, and hence app made sense for us. So we didn't think twice and we said that, oh, we should have an app. So
yeah. So again, this is specific to app, but the question is like app download is hard, and like the behavior is different. The customer behavior is different there on an app. Uh, and push notifications do, it's a very, people give permission to a brand to speak with them. It can be with some, uh, it can be a marketing campaign, it can be something personal, like all those procession. Can you share like how that push notifications and marry with app behavior, like where you, so you understand your like customer behavior on the web, on an app, how does that push notification and app, like app scrolling, just for example, like Suta customers spend like 10x time on an app versus web, which is like equals to any social media page or like platform they would be spending time. So want to understand like how those push notifications work and what kind of an incentives users want different from website
I
just
think
to engage
honestly
with the
they just
brand.
want to, because they
Hmm.
have downloaded the app already, means you have a special place in their heart and phone. So that means that you have to give them special care and attention. It may be in terms of special offers or some special previews, etc. But I do not think that because of this 200 rupee off or something like that, that people have downloaded your app. That's not the incentive that for which they have downloaded it. And even if they do, that doesn't make sense. They will just leave because they've just done
Yeah.
it for like a total discount. Only people who stay on app means that they really like and come back to the website for buying. So that just shows that anyway they are in love and that they will be shopping more. So the lifetime value of a customer increases. The more people are on app, their LTVs are really high. And again, one more thing is that the push notification, the term only sounds very crude and wrong and bad. I think it should change. You guys change it. You guys
Yeah.
can do that because it just looks like I'm pushing something to you. Pushing something down your
Yeah.
throat. And it's just
Oh yeah, push itself is so bad. Yeah.
push notification. Like seriously, is it something better? Like a nice, like a reminder or a like hi, something like such a like DM, such a cute word, right? So something like that. So because what happens is that because the term is like that, everyone is actually pushing things to you. And when I get those things, I can also turn it off, right? I can turn it off for some apps that I don't like. But for Suta, people don't turn it off. And they have given that special space in their life for Suta. So I do not want to misuse it. I don't want to send things to you. We don't push people too much, like too much information and all. But we only say when there is a nice announcement to be made, really which will make add value, we send that. So we have been very mindful. Good message or that'll brighten your day up, or just a reminder that hey, you can come check things in the app, or something which adds value to their lives, and not something to just push offers and increase my sales. Not only that, of course, bottom line is always that in our head, but it should not be that they're so bogged down by my push notifications that they turn it off. Yeah, and so anyway, the value of the order is higher on app. So the amount of spend on app is also higher than on the regular page. Anyway, these customers ordered already with us, so they are coming. So they know the product well. So it just needs good navigation. So whatever they want to find, they're finding. So that's anything special that you can give them through the app because they have it. And I think that's how people should see their customers and not see it as a place to just sell content. It's just it can be just a place to communicate with them. It's like a bistro in your ear and a special something that I'm sending it to you. So that's how we use our app, and it's working really well.
Great. So we'll get out of now app world and we'll move into like this is the last section, like last 5-7 minutes. Thank you. I think I enjoyed. I learned a lot, and I'm having fun actually. So this is about founder mindset. There are like when you are building a brand. For us, like building a brand is the hardest thing. Your P&L is against you. Your working capital is against you. Meta is against you. Uh, team members move. Like congrats on having team members, especially like a customer success for last 7 years who are veterans. What's your founder mindset? Like, what would you advise your younger self? like when you're starting up? Because there's like, because sometimes you see a data which is like, wow, sometimes you see a data, oh, this didn't work out. So what kind of mindset you will recommend young brand founders to have? So, this is a long run, like brands are forever. So how to like, what kind of a mental framework you kind of practice or that has evolved?
One I would say is that look at your brand only in long term. Do not think short term. So all the strategies you take, think about it that okay, if 4, 5 years down the line, it will make sense or it is for long term. So if you're opening a store, it is long term. It is going to be there for 5 years at least if you're contracted with that. So whatever you're doing, think long term. Your communication will also change the way you are communicating. It will not be short term. Then it's not just trend. You will also send a message out. Your language will start changing because you are thinking long term and you are communicating long term. So that's one thing that I would say. And we have done it, I think, from the beginning because we never are were in a race of maybe making a brand big and sell it and run off. Like we are not thinking like that. So your whole thought process goes around it. So your systems you're building will be in that direction. Your hiring will be like when you're hiring, your first question will be like to see the CV and see the person is stuck around or the person is moving constantly. So all those things will come in the moment you're thinking long term and you're building everything long term. Systems, processes, hiring, just long term. Yeah, it definitely works better even if you're selling a year later or 2 years later. So that's one. I think another thing is that earlier it was the ecosystem for e-commerce was not built as such when we started, but now it's very very strong, and I think people are very accessible. Networking really helps. Not networking for just the sake of okay, I have your number on my phone, and if I dial you may not pick it up, right? But being friends with a couple of founders really helped us. And I think we have the numbers on our speed dials. And when things are going wrong or right or whatever, you can always reach out to them and they can reach out to you. Build a strong system around you of founders or mentors. It really works.
We started with a sari, right? How do you imagine like Suta, let's say 20099, like
Wow. That long term. 099. That long term. Yeah.
I didn't say 2047. So I said like 2099 because brand is forever.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. How old will I be? Why might not be there?
You don't know actually. So there is a high probability we would still be there thanks to all the advances in AI, but we don't know where we will be there. And so just because brands
tell me
are
when
forever.
I'm 80 years old, I'll tell you about that. I feel if I see Suta as a brand, I think it will still be known as a very honest brand with a lot of branches all across the world where saris are celebrated as one of the best garments in the world and no more seen as just an Indian wear. Where saris are even now we see international orders coming from people who are not Indians. So, I feel that's so very, very important for people to know the scientific reason for wearing saris, because it's a breathable, light, your navel is exposed to air comes and, your navel breathes too. So there are a lot of logic behind saris. So that the ancient knowledge or the scientific reasons for why saris are worn should be celebrated all across India, like how all across the world, for example, how yoga is celebrated. Saris should also be there, up there, like one of the best attires. Absolutely, and I think that it will happen soon with Suta traveling international. And by the way, we're opening our first international store in Mauritius.
Mauritius,
next month. So wow. I think Suta will take saris to places along with a lot of brands who have started saris, and it's becoming so big. Since sari is so fluid, it should also travel the whole world. So that's
wow. Just like a wind and water.
Yeah, just flows, without any stitches, just nicely flowing around. Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of last question, which is two brand founders, like you guys have seen, like India D2C, like probably you guys were the early people, like, but overall, globally, like two DTC brand founders, you guys like, you appreciate, you admire, or you kind of follow?
I always
Yeah,
I
yeah.
name founders who I know personally and also reach out to them quite often. One is Disha, who is the founder of Zook, and I've loved
Okay.
the brand from the day they have started. I love the way they have been building the brand, husband and wife together. Uh, they have Pradeep and Disha, and what I see them building, they inspire me, and it's the bag that they started. There's so many bag brands, right? But
Right.
I spot that bag anywhere I recognize. It's similar about the Suta sari as well. And
Oh,
that gives me immense amount of pride that something that such a simple product, right? And
it's completely made in India, which is like where Chinese brands dominate, so cheap. And here it's made in India, impeccable quality, and people are carrying. Generally, you see in airports, it's like flooded with jute packs. I'm just amazed at how they have built it. I was going to say Steve Jobs because the way he created the phone Apple when there was like eras of BlackBerry and everything, when we never thought there could be one button and the life will change. Like you would be like,
yeah,
when the first time I held an Apple, I'm like, where do I press? And to think about something that the product that was non-existent,
yeah,
just one button, you can just do everything on the phone to where we have come. We forgot that there were like literally type pads, where you have to type
yeah,
everything. And honestly, we also work in a very similar way. That so a lot of people ask that, did you do a customer survey or, survey where you understood that sarees is what people wanted, or the malmal sarees, which is soft and hugging your body like a second skin? Did you do your research, ask people? I said, said that, yeah. Steve Jobs asked people that, do you need a phone with one button? No, people would not know that they wanted things.
So
We
we
would
said
give
that,
it to
we
them.
actually said that in an interview, which we won the award for best brand initially, like in 2017, we won an award by Times. And there we said this in an interview that, maybe people don't even know what they want. We will maybe make something and give them and say, this is what you wanted. And they would be like, whoa, yeah, we wanted this.
Yeah, I'll make fun blouses. I'll make people wear shoes with saris. I'll make people have fun with this garment, which is so beautiful. It's just that nobody knows what they want. It's okay. Sometimes.
No, so I always see, like, whenever if somebody who has not done marketing, somebody who has not built something, they will always come and ask, did you read a survey? Did you look at data? And I always used to had it before I had my marketing stint. And when I was before Appbrew, I was like, I built Otipy, onion, potato, tomato, and we kind of connecting farmers with end consumers.
Wow.
And we started like a 2020, and before that I built a gaming company, which was like Real Money Gaming, Ludo Plus Gaming. So I felt guilt because I was always measuring loser cohorts, and that was business actually. But when I kind of built OTP, I feel liberated that I was like literally, like, people talk about farmers, nobody does anything. We were procuring directly from farmers and scale that business from zero to $15,000 per day.
Wow.
And the most powerful part was community. We had like 500 women across Delhi NCR. They like, just imagine a woman in your society. She's very active on the groups. She was our kind of like a OTP partners or a Suta, or like, OTP partner we used to call her. And she will just do referrals. And anybody kind of takes the referral from her, like they will download our app, consumer app, and they will order. So the like OTP partner will take care of the delivery and the customer strategy. At the peak of COVID, like, of course, everybody needed groceries.
Yeah.
The persona was like, okay, one persona was, we were delivering in camellias, aralias, and women from there also were our resellers. And then there was always like, when you sell vegetables, it's like you feel like, so why associate with vegetables? Like that persona, people who have been selling vegetables are good. So their husbands will come and say, you know what, till when you were working in Tupperware, it was good. But now vegetables. And then the women, like, she will go and say, you know what, I'm helping my farmers.
Yeah.
I'm helping people get
Was-
chemical-free fruits and vegetables.
Makes
And
sense.
what happened was, then Nestle approached us and said, you know what, you guys have a very strong community. We want to launch and test Nesky Gold with you guys. In so that time, like, and first time I felt the power of distribution that they were paying us like 21 rupees per sachet delivered. So yeah, but like especially like working on something which kind of delivers outcome to the people who matter was great, and great speaking with you.